Animation is different from other parts. Its language, its language is the language of caricature. Our most difficult job was to develop the cartoons a natural but seemingly natural anatomy for humans and animals. Walt Disney. Walt is considered one of the pioneers of animation in our modern era, but it wasn't just Walt who worked on animation and the expressive nature of animation to show different emotions, even though words may not be said in a scene, or even if that scene is in a different language. Japan has been in the forefront of cutting-edge animation for decades. Since post-World War II, animation in Japan has ever been evolving to all different genres and styles. Now, I know what you're thinking. Anime, as it's called in Japan and in America, the stereotypical type, Speed Racer, is one of the ones that mainly comes to mind. Bad animation, and even worse voice work done on it back in the day. Then you've got more modern Gundam Wing as we step into the 90s. Again, stereotypical giant mech, giant robots. To the more modern era with Cowboy Bebop, sci-fi, scantily clad women, odd characters, action, punchy, very artistic, very music driven. But there's a series I'm focusing on today for expressions in animation, nonverbal expressions. Even though words are coming across the screen in a great voice acting delivery, the animation can sell the story and sell the emotion that much further. Now you may ask yourself, what right do I have to speak on the expressionism of animation? It is in truth a good question. I myself am actually a former student of industrial design, specializing in special effects and animatronics, where it's my job to make a makeup sell an emotion, to sell a scene, and also to build an animatronic creature to sell that scene as well, and make it express in ways to communicate non-verbally. So, you may be wondering, the series I'm going to be focusing on is called Sword Art Online. It's based upon what's called a light novel, literally a novel with animation and pictures paired with it in a digital format in Japan. That came out in 2009 and then was later adapted into a full television series. And the first scene I am using for my example is of the group of main characters are trying to defeat one of the boss characters within the game world they are trapped in. Now, a bit of a backstory on this. Within this game world that they are trapped in, if your HP reaches 0, you die. Not just in the game. You die in real life. So, high stakes. They're trying to prove to everyone else that the game can be beaten, that there is hope for them. So let's take a look. During this scene, you show abject fear from that character I was just on. You have our hero, Kirito, going to try and help the character who's been leading this group. You see the worry, the despair in Kirito's face as this character's health is reaching 0. The surprise at him refusing this healing potion that Kirito is carrying. Now, I'll stop there. This shows, that impending loss and almost panic in Kirito's eyes if we take it back just a second to that point where Kirito realizes that this man is going to die in his arms. That is subtle. It's quick, but it sells that impending doom that is being felt. The next scene I'm using shows also Kirito, who I'm focusing on as he is the main protagonist for the series. At this point in the storyline, has lost some friends. He was part of what's called a guild, a large group of people, and they all died except for him. So as it pans up on him rescuing another character, we see that solace, that disconnect from society, almost depressed, that he's lost in himself. And then I'm going to let the scene proceed just slightly and show, like I said, let the scene proceed to show the character he just saved, who has lost her animal companion. She was a beast tamer, and you can tell by the animation, her shoulders shaking, her body shaking, that she is in distress, that she is crying as she cries over what's left of her companion. As we move forward into this scene, we find Kirito and the gentleman that he is being accompanied by have been poisoned by who they believe was a comrade. This comrade is part of what's called a player killer guild secretly, and he has gone insane in jealousy over Kirito and Kirito's abilities. So you see him laughing maniacally, and he proceeds to murder the companion, justifying it to himself with a backstory that they were being robbed by bandits. You see, he's actually enjoying the act of killing someone, showing his insanity and his desperation and just loss of humanity by this point. We skip forward to show extreme mental distress, despair, and pain in this young character's eyes as she remembers things that a trauma had forced her to forget. Again, very subtle, very quick, but it's in the way that the eyes just go blank and the expression on her face. We later find out that she's actually a construct of the system and that she is being deleted, essentially, and that she had come to live as the two main characters' daughter. So it's them having to face that loss of what they felt was essentially their child and not wanting to let go. And then peace with that fact that she's going to essentially die, even though she's not human. She's a program. Now, to end on a bit of a funny note, this older gentleman is saying he wants soy sauce, and Kirito is telling him that his wife has figured out a way to make soy sauce in the game. So that quick expression is that you say "what" type expression. So as you see, anime is very versatile, especially this series, in showing deep expression, and that even though the art style is simplistic, it can show very complex emotions in very subtle ways. Thank you for your time. I hope this has shed some new light for you on anime as a whole. Thank you.